Hi there, and welcome to part two, where I'm going to talk about the role of INFP in society. It's really quite simple. An INFP does a couple of things really well. You know how to feel, and you know how to listen, and you know how to adapt. So those are the things that you need to bring to whatever it is you do. What did that mean prehistorically? Well, INFPs, I think Tolkien had the right idea. There's the mix of the call to adventure for his hobbit protagonists, but also that desire for home and hearth and comfort. So those two forces kind of pulling at each other. An INFP ends up traveling at some point in their lives to other places, other people, other cultures, depending on how big their world was, maybe the next tribe over or the next nation over, and absorbing whatever there is there for ideas and culture and language, and doing kind of the sponge thing of sucking up everything and adapting to that local, to the local differences, and really immersing and understanding it and living it, potentially to the point of maybe even settling there, getting a spouse, having kids, and so forth. But the importance of the INFP in that role is that, having self over tribe, there isn't the distinct loyalty to one social structure or the other. They're personal connections, and those personal connections straddle both of the worlds. And so, as the healer, idealist, dreamer, mediator, seeker, quester, whatever archetype you want to assign to the INFP type, there is this ability to be a person between two social strata that manages to foster an understanding between them and therefore help avoid misunderstandings and conflict. So here's how I see the INFP. Back in the day, they were the linchpin that helped prevent conflicts and wars. And the reason that this was an evolutionary advantage is that when you're not consuming resources fighting each other, if that's not an absolutely necessary thing to do, then both tribes benefit. So you have, the hobbit down the street or in the hut down the ways that knows the ways of some different cultures and is harmless and friendly and not very competent in any particular thing, so they're not really a threat. And therefore, that will help foster some feelings of warmth and connection, and hopefully mean that you don't go to war with the place where that INFP came from or where they've traveled to. So is that still relevant today? Absolutely. Because nowadays we have a global village, but more than ever, we have major ideological differences. And this is where I get controversial, because I strongly believe the role of the INFP is to engage with the entire spectrum. And that means engaging with people that your existing tribe might find objectionable, repulsive, the enemy. That can be on the political spectrum, on the social spectrum, on the economic spectrum, different national beliefs, different religious and political beliefs, and so forth. So that means speaking to people from all walks of life in order to understand ultimately the similarities and differences in human nature. And as one learns more about all of these different walks of life, you're able to synthesize more about an understanding of what it means to be human. And that ends up helping connect the different types, differences in people, differences in beliefs and cultures, and so forth. I also think that's going to be a way toward fulfillment, to have those connections and see how all of the different peoples live and adopt or ingest their ways and fully understand them and feel them for what they are. So that's what I've got. I hope that this is helpful. The reason I tied this to part one is that this may not resonate for some people, but I hope that it still may provide a proper framework to say either, yes, this is for me, or no, this is not for me, but I understand the kind of the level at which this is presenting, so I can find my own purpose, even though it's something different from what's been suggested here. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. And if you are an INFP, I would say please engage with everyone and anything that you can. It's not for the SE, it's for the NE ideas, for the FI feelings. It's like the analogous to being a monk with your begging bowl. You're going from village to village, and you're seeing each one is going to be different. And some days you're going to experience hunger, and some days you're going to experience fatigue. And some days you're going to experience the largesse of human kindness. And all of these things are necessary in order to understand better yourself, and therefore also understand other people. And hopefully, because of that, be able to broker better understanding between people and help reduce conflict in the world. That's what I've got. It sounds highbrow, but I hope it helps. Have a good morning, evening, night, wherever you may be.